And besides being grateful for all the live music, and I wish I had learned to play an instrument or sing when I was younger. Anyway, we have lots of things to be grateful for. When technology works, this is wonderful. So yay, let's all send nice healing energy to the technology for the rest of the morning. And this past week, we had so many activities going again that we were grateful for all of them. We had, of course, our morning cafe every morning, the happy hour Heroes and Humor, led by Rick, Course in Miracles, led by Rev Neal, the chaplain's prayer meeting, the writers group, Qigong and Tai Chi, cards and games, the gathering, and NVC as spiritual practice. I'm not sure how we can fit many more things into the week. So I hope you all get to participate in at least one of those during the week. And Unity is grounded in affirmative prayer and meditation. And we do have trained prayer chaplains, and both Mary Ann and Anne Marie and myself here in person. If you have a prayer need this morning and would like personal prayer support, you can certainly tap one of us on the shoulder, and we'll be more than happy to sit and pray with you. There are also the blue prayer request forms in the back if you would like to add one to the prayer box. Or you can always go to, let's see, neil.unityofpayson@gmail.com and leave your prayer request there. And that then gets sent to all of us prayer chaplains. We hold them for 30 days, sacred and confidential, and then they get sent on to Silent Unity for another 30 days, where they are held in prayer. So do not hesitate. And today's theme is for the month is finding faith. I am confident that my hope is well placed. I trust spirit to manifest what is not yet visible. And sometimes that can be a challenge to hold on to that, even though something hasn't yet shown up. And our speaker today is our own Rev Neal Worthington. And his talk title is The Greatest of These is Love. And I believe this is the culmination of the series on faith, the very gradual steps, which is what his lovely little cairn was here. So he'll have to be rebuilding that for his talk. And for our metaphysical moment, I'm reading from the Daily Word today. And this is completely appropriate because I've already been thinking about and kind of getting the garden ready to plant. So the word is positivity. I plant seeds of positivity and harvest joy. Every gardener knows that blooms grow best in good soil. Even before planting, it's good practice to pull the weeds and prepare the soil, giving the seeds the optimal condition in which to grow. Today, I tend the garden of my consciousness. I pull the weeds of worrisome and unforgiving thoughts by denying that they have any power over me. I create a fertile environment for new positive thoughts to grow through regular prayer and meditation. When I touch that place of infinite stillness and peace, I affirm wholeness, prosperity, happiness, and love for my life. Like bright, beautiful flowers, these positive thoughts bloom and grow in my consciousness. And from Philippians, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just and pure, pleasing and commendable, think about those things. And so for me, this whole thing is about choice. You know, you can choose to spend your time thinking about all the negative stuff that perhaps is going on. And that just adds to that negative energy. Or you can choose to hold all of the other uplifting thoughts. I know whenever I go out to plant my garden, and I don't even have to think about it because this just happens. I was out weeding yesterday, and raking and sowing a few seeds and things. And whenever I pull weeds, I'm like, well, what other little negative thought do I have in there? Let's let go of that. Let's let go. So the weeding for me becomes a letting go process, getting ready for the seeds and envisioning the flowers and the vegetables before they ever come up. And so I encourage you to just stay in that state of expectancy to have things show up that you have already affirmed, instead of, falling into the fears or the judgments or whatever. So stay in your flower garden of thought. And now our message from Rev Neal.
Oh, a little bit.
Oh.
The greatest of these is love. Do you know where that comes from? It comes from the Christian scriptures and the book of 1 Corinthians in that wonderful love chapter. And I hope that you remember many of the things that are true, because we're going to review a few of those things today. But let me begin by this. Love, of course, is our topic. Remember a musical named Oliver Twist. There's this beautiful song that this young boy sings in the movie. Mary Ann will know it. She's on the movies. Where is love? Where is love? Does it fall from skies above? Is it underneath the tree? Where is she who will love me? Who will see me? That's a wonderful and a sweet song, but that's not the type of love I'm going to talk about. That's a human love which can be wonderful, but is nonetheless a reflection of all that is in divine love. Well, we want to get to the heart of the matter. We want to get to divine love. As you know, we've been close, we're working on the camera angle here a little bit. So you're going to get half of my head.
That's better.
Hopefully the right half will stay in your view. Remember that we talked about this scale of faith, this journey of faith. And today I'd like to review that just a little bit and then on to what I call the zenith of the faith journey, that is love. So I had this set up before. I'm going to try to set it up again. If you're looking at the, here's this cairn that we're building. Can you see it? Okay. So we begin on the very bottom with despair, that utter lack of hope. But it is sometimes for us the starting point in our journey of faith. And as we reach a little higher, we use the analogy of a ladder, reaching for a rung higher, we get to, well, let's see if I can get this done solidly here. We get to doubt. This is a lack of confidence, wavering one way and another, but yet it's a rung up from that absolute despair, because sometimes the journey of faith seems accessible. And then when we go from doubt, we get just a little more positive about it, but still kind of in that questioning mode. And that is, well, let's see if we can find a way to do this. Donna put this cairn together for me, and she did it very nicely. I'll try to replicate something similar to what she did. Hope. Hope has expectation with it. An expectation that something good is going to happen. And that's another step, a rung higher on the faith scale. And then from hope, we begin to move into more positive territory. And we get to trust. Trust has a little bit of confidence. It's confidence that that which I desire may in fact be mine. So we move up on the faith scale, the journey of faith. We move up yet higher when we get to, you'll have to imagine, when we get to, we hope our journey of faith doesn't come crashing down. When we get to faith. Faith is the ability to believe with confidence. It's a state that we begin to think positively, and it's also a state in which we can really begin to see up to the top, the zenith of that journey of faith, and we can begin to get a feeling of love. And we'll get to that and discuss what we're going to discuss for today. From faith, we move on to that believing with confidence to belief itself, where we take that faith that we have and we make it firm in our belief. Through affirmation, through review again and again of the truth that resonates with our being, we arrive at and we build belief. And now today, we make the jump. Now you notice that all of these things up to this point is something that happens primarily in the mind. Despair, certainly in the mind, in a very negative way. Even belief that we build is primarily a function of the mind and of divine mind, I might say as well. But when we move up to that zenith, love, that greatest place on our journey of faith, we jump from mind to heart. There's not much mind at play when we're dealing with love. So let's consider love and let's talk about what love is and what love is not. If you were to go home and take a look at that scripture again, 1 Corinthians 13, it says what love isn't. It's not arrogant. It's not puffed up. It's not shunning of truth, but it is kind, compassion. And you'll find a list in 1 Corinthians 13, and I recommend that you take a look at that. It's a wonderful thing. But what we find in this 1 Corinthians 13 is that love, which is at the very end of the chapter, remember it says now these three things remain: faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love, the title of our message today. Love circles back to hope. Remember that was down in the lower third of our faith scale. When love circles back to hope, it sees with divine eyes. It sees in a very positive light. It sees with expectation. Love also circles back to faith. Faith that begins to have a confidence that what comes from within us, that we desire, that which we know. Faith and love together. And it's the knowing part. Did you ever think that knowing is a great part of love? Well, it is. So let's go back to that idea that love is a matter of the heart, an affair of the heart. When I think of the heart, I'm not thinking of Valentine's and hearts that you might give to your sweetie. I'm not thinking about little heart-shaped doilies. I'm not thinking of little kindnesses that we give one to another. Those are great, and those are reflections of divine love. But I'm thinking of that love that stems from the divine. I look at it like this, and you may have experienced some of the things that I've experienced. I look at it as a pool, a placid, serene pool that is inexhaustible, a pool of love. And it's not something we go and find, it is within us, each and every one of us. Love is an inside job. When we go to that pool of love, that pool of love looks like this. It looks like harmonious oneness. It looks like a universe that is in harmony by divine design. It looks like a connection with each other and a connection with the divine that cannot be denied. So let's look at that way, that resource, that pool of love. I've experienced this sometimes in a group. When I'm gathered with a spiritual family, there's a very palpable energy that's there that doesn't relate to the kindnesses of love or the excitement of love looked at from a human perspective. That palpable energy that you're just encompassed. It's within you, it's around you, it's above you. You can't escape it. There's a love, a oneness, an inseparable connection. So we even experience that here at Unity of Patience in this spiritual family. Some of you are participating in some of the smaller activities, and they are, some of them in person and some of them online. One of the activities, and I recommend that you join this sometime, if you're able at all to do it, on Zoom, so virtually every morning with the exception of Sunday morning. That's our morning coffee. Sometimes we laugh a lot, and sometimes we just know our oneness with each other. We know that sense of love that comes from within us. We end up saying things that we didn't know we knew. We just share with that group, and we experience love, divine love, love from a divine perspective, love that comes from within. It's true also of our Course in Miracles class. Those of us who have joined with each other, break down the barriers of heart, open to a certain vulnerability, but also to the possibility of the energy of love going through us, surrounding us, and carrying us forward. That happens here for me at Unity of Patience. That's happened for me at a church in Houston, Texas. That's happened for me in a small group in the wilderness. It can happen any place. It's not limited by what we are limited when we look at love from a human perspective. Because when we look from love from a human perspective, we look at it more of as a commodity. Like Oliver was saying, where is love? I need this commodity love. I've never had it. I'm an orphan. Where is someone who will love me? And when I get enough of that commodity, then I will know love. Well, I suggest that from the human perspective, that's inaccurate. That when you go for love as a commodity, something you acquire, maybe you even trade in love futures if you're a trader. Get enough of it in the event you'll never be without. No, it's not so. Because the commodity is not what love really is. Sometimes it reflects divine love, but that's not the essence of it. The essence of it is that there is within us a pool of love waiting to be expressed. And as we often say, we are expressions of that divine love. So as we consider love, I want you to just think of that as the absolute zenith of your journey of faith. That place where you are energized in a way no other love can give you. It's a love that never is absent. It's a love that's inexhaustible. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it's love because it doesn't have that human connection, that anthropomorphic idea. But you know, that might be a good thing because as humans, we have our foibles. Let's go to that pool of divine love and dip into that pool and let it flow into us and out through us. The irony is when we do it that way, we end up loving ourselves. And loving ourselves, the love that flows out through us is not the commodity, but it is that divine, inexhaustible pool of love energy that's there for the taking, because it is our very inheritance. So I want you to remember this. I want you to think of love as the zenith of the faith journey. Now, I suspect that if you're like me, you'll bump back down a little bit, maybe down to hopefulness, and then work your way back up through those stages, through that faith scale. And you may be able to keep the cairn growing and staying in place. And I suspect that there will be times when you'll absolutely be immersed by the love of the divine. If you allow that, remember, this is an affair of the heart. When you open your heart, which means being vulnerable, you can experience that divine love. One other magnificent benefit from that divine love, pool of divine love, is that it enables you to keep from putting anyone outside of your heart, above your heart. We talked about the oneness that we are. So easy for us to just say that person, that situation, man, it's out of here. But when we put that outside of our heart, we deny the truth and the power of the love that is within us. So our work now, we get down to what is our work? It's an awareness of love. It's an opening to love. And it's also a positive action to say, how can I let that love flow through me? How can I keep within me all of those people, all of those situations that I tend to want to put outside of my heart? Well, it's a tall order. It doesn't happen immediately. It's a step-by-step process. So I encourage you today to think of love as an inexhaustible, totally reliable, absolutely consistent resource that provides peace, that provides connection, that provides even sometimes ecstasy. Keep looking for it. If you haven't experienced it very much, it's there for you. I challenge you to do so. Remember that on this faith journey, love is the zenith of all those steps we've taken. It's that highest rung. Let's go back to that Oliver at the beginning. Reaching for that love. Let's imagine, let's rewrite the story. Let's imagine Oliver from very birth in a situation of love. Absolute love, not just from those around him, not just from parents or caretakers or teachers, but just sitting in that energy of love. Let's put Oliver in a different place. Then he never needs to reach for that love, which might be in the sky, might be under the tree, because it is his already. In fact, if we're able to make that reach to that highest rung, to the rung of love. We will not only experience that, not only experience it as an expression of the divine, but we will be it, not become it, because our design is that way, our heritage is that way, we are love, but we will experience that in our life. I trust that you will be able to do that in some small measure today. And increasingly, if you continue to climb higher and higher in faith. And so it is. Amen.
I kind of like that this fell down. It's a nice analogy of, isn't that what happens in life? Your faith is strong, and yes, you're standing in love, and something happens. And you get to go through climb all over again. And so now, as we move into, as we prepare for meditation, we have more music from Phyllis and from Sherry. And the song is Open My Eyes.
I'm not gonna see anything.
Thought y'all were all supposed to sing this with me. So if you know it, sing it. Open my eyes that I may see glimpses of truth that's for me. Place in my hands the wonderful key that your love has set free. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, I need to see. Open my eyes and open me, Spirit divine. Open my ears that I may hear voices of truth that send us fear. And while the way is on my ear, and everything false will disappear. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, I live to see. Open my ears and open me, Spirit divine. Open my mouth and let me tell. Let me know truth everywhere. Open my heart and let me prepare. Like my children thoughts to share. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, I will to see. Open my heart and open me, Spirit divine.
Thank you, Sherry and Phyllis. That's one of the songs from my youth that just keeps coming back. I remember most of the words, even though, yeah. Silently, silently wait. So often we think we got to do something, we got to get it done, we got to make it happen. Let's take just a few moments to be in that silence, to experience that love, to open our hearts. So breathe with me for a moment, again letting all that is past, all that is future, slip from our view as we seek out that divine silence, that connection with our inmost being, that recognition that we are divine. And as you sit in that silence, allow yourself to release the shutters that keep your heart closed. You know what they are for you. Just for this moment. Open yourself. Open yourself. Be vulnerable. Be open. And as you open yourself, bring to your mind's eye a pool of great love. Freely accessible to you, ready for you to dip into. Having opened your heart, dip into that pool of divine love. It will thrill your soul. It will allow you to drink deeply and experience the completeness that you never had before. And as you see yourself satisfied by that divine love on the inner level, you suddenly have cues to how that might flow through you, cues to how that might be expressed in words. Carry that pool of divine love with you, replenish it because it's always there whenever necessary, and allow it to flow through you into the world. Sit now in the silence, complete satisfaction of being love. Know that whenever you choose to do so, and it is your choice, you can go back to that pool of divine love that's never quenched, that is never depleted, that is absolutely consistent, that's completely satisfying. And you can be that love, and in being so, you become a vessel in which that love may be poured out into this world. In specific ways, perhaps tangible ways in your life, in this place where you are right now, wherever you are. but into the whole of the globe, the whole of the universe, giving back that love that is within. You may think that that doesn't solve all the problems. And we wait in that. We don't see the big picture. We wait. Because we know that as we allow that energy of love to flow through us and back into the world, we raise this global community, this local community, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. So you have a track to follow, a truth to live. And now come back to me to an awareness of this time, in this place, knowing that you are changed, knowing that your heart has been awakened to a greater destiny than you thought was yours before. Will you open your eyes and wiggle your fingers and toes and bring yourself back to the awareness of this time? And so it is.
It always takes me a couple extra seconds to get back when I'm journeying like that. So now is the time for our gifts and our offerings. And if you're with us online, let's see.
Can't see.
No, okay. If you're with us online, go to unityofpayson.org and go to the donate button. And in a moment, we will be having a song, so there's plenty of time to do that. And if you're here in person, of course, we will be passing the basket here momentarily. And before that, though, seeing as we just had this lovely message of love, let's take our offerings in our hands and charge it up with love. We're grateful for all the gifts from all of you. As we tithe out to the larger community here in Payson and out to the Unity Southwest region and back to Central Unity worldwide. So this is more than just here in our church, in our community. And that's a symbol of that oneness of the love. So take just a moment and think about what is in your heart's desire this morning. And charge that up. And then I'll do a call and response for our affirmation. Freely we give.
Freely we receive.
And freely we receive.
And freely we receive.
Awesome. All right. And Ed, if you would come up. And our offertory song is Love is My Decision. Love that one.
This is one of our favorites here at Unity, and most of you will probably know it. Daniel Nahmad, who wrote the song, actually included a piano accompaniment, so I get to play it and accompany it. In this one, rather than as the canned one that we've been singing for some time, has an optional bridge that I decided to use. It makes it, extends it longer. But I figured that we can relax and rest in that decision that we made of love. Love is my decision.
It's
It's nice to have the little bridge in that.
Thank you.
I think that's the right terminology.
Yeah, it's optional bridge and it's been optional.
Yeah. All righty, now's the time that we dedicate our gifts and our offerings. So bless you all and we bless the gifts. And I will do also a call and response for you. So together, divine love through us.
Divine love through us.
Blesses and multiplies.
Blesses and multiplies.
All that we have.
All that we have.
All that we give.
All that we give.
And all. Okay,
All that we receive.
and all that we receive.
All that we receive.
We are abundantly prosperous.
We are abundantly prosperous.
And we give thanks.
We give thanks.
All righty, so we have lots of announcements. And we continue on next week with the theme of faith. And we are going to have Reverend Julianne Lewis. And her talk title is The Gift of Faith, Living in Peace. Is she going to be here?
No.
So that will be on Zoom. So I know we have some people that are huge fans of Reverend Julianne. We haven't seen her in a long time. We used to do hybrid service with her at the beginning of all of this. So put the word out to all of your friends that Reverend Julianne will be speaking. And so all of our meetings are on Zoom. And all of our activities actually are by love offering. So just put that out there. And this is a good number of the events, but be sure to check the Monday morning email for everything that's going on that Terry sends out. Or you can go to unityofpayson.org and always see the calendar of events there. So like usual, we have our morning cafe, 9:30 Monday through Saturday. And we have Donna's Nonviolent Communication as Spiritual Practice. That's Tuesday, March 22nd from 4 to 6. And I believe that is the last class. And next we have Let's Play Cards and Games. That's at Kay's house every Thursday from 1 to 3. And I understand they have a heck of a good time. And please call Kay to reserve your spot so she knows how many people are coming and she can set up for that. And her phone number is 928-978-1283. And I have that up here if you need that afterwards. And then we have Highway Cleanup on Thursday, March 24th from 4 to 5, monthly on the fourth Thursday. And we meet at the Big Lots parking lot. So chip in for that one. And then we have the gathering, which is every Saturday from 4 to 5. This is a little bit new. Have 3 or 4 gatherings yet. This also is at Kay's house. And I haven't read this little description in a while, in case anybody is interested in exploring some spiritual things. This is a group of seekers exploring areas of group interest, from inspirational authors and speakers to healing modalities to all things metaphysical. So come and share. And that also is a must RSVP, because she can only fit 12 chairs in her circle. And again, I have Kay's phone number up here if anyone wants to attend. I think last night was on crystals. And then we have Qigong and Tai Chi, moving meditation. That's with Teresa Kelleher, and that is on Zoom every Sunday and Wednesday from 4:30 to 5:10. And that's deep breathing and stretch and meditation. And that's on our normal Zoom channel. And please be on time for that, 4:30 to 5:10, because they start right at 4:30. And don't forget Ed's cookies in there, and PS from Rev Neal.
I had an exchange with Reverend Julianne, and the members of Interfaith Community will join with us this coming Sunday. So we'll have that community joining with our community as we do it virtually. So those of you who are here in person are going to get the best of it. We trust that technology is going to favor us, and so we can see what we want to here. But do join with us next Sunday. Yes, Terry.
Yes, music next March 24th with you for Ukraine and benefit. Jennifer
Okay,
wanted
yes.
us to mention that.
We've got a couple of things I'm going to ask. I'm going to just. Yeah, come on up front, Jennifer. I'm going to, while you're doing it, I'm going to say, Mary Ann Gardner is happy birthday, gal. We're not going to do her here, but she has a birthday soiree going. And it is a benefit for Ukraine relief. It's at 1 o'clock in Tiny's, this restaurant right over here in the back room, and we will join there. Cinnamon Twist will be there. It's going to be a hoop, and it'll be nice to be together in that setting. And so please come celebrate Mary Ann. And there are other things coming. We're supporting a number of events for Ukrainian relief. And Jennifer's going to tell us a little bit about it.
So this all started, of course, with the war in Ukraine, but it started in addition in Payson with Mary Ann, because she had some ideas, and she and Annie and I were talking, and all of a sudden this group starts to form. And we have a whole bunch of people who are helping out with this. This is neat stuff. So the first one, this is our maiden voyage, is Mary Ann's birthday party. And that's going to be this afternoon at 1 o'clock. Annie and I are going to play. We're going to have Name That Tune. That's right.
Yeah.
And we're going to have
Sing along.
We're going to have all sorts of things. Lots of fun. It's in the back room at Tiny's. And we're also going to have a special guest who is Ukrainian. And her name is Elena. And she's going to be joining us and talking about the homeland and singing a song in Ukrainian, which I'm going to try to sing a little bit of it with her. It's really hard. But so there's that. And then we're going to be doing on Thursday at college. They were kind enough to let us use their multi-purpose room. And from 4 to 6 on Thursdays, March 24th, we're going to have a music concert with Cinnamon Twist, and also with Mark Letts on keyboard, and with Gary McReynolds on guitar, classical guitar. So it'll be a lot of fun, and we're going to be raising money for 4-star charities. We went through and we looked at the different charities that are doing things over there, and we tried to pick the ones that have the most impact, so that the money that you donate would actually get right to the people and would be helpful with it. So that's what we're doing, and they're having a bake sale and all sorts of things that we selling. Teresa is selling plants as a donation. There's somebody who made some rocks. I think that was Teresa also. That looked like these. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. That's the first one. And then we're going to have another one after that at Mendix Church.
We'll
in
keep,
about 2 weeks.
we'll keep
Yeah.
everybody informed on all of the things. Read that Monday newsletter. You
Mhm.
don't want to miss anything.
Thanks.
So it's time for us to close our service. So if you're here in person, please stand with us. We'll sing the peace song and say the prayer for protection. And if you're with us virtually, sing along, and please do hang in there for a minute, everybody, so that I can greet you. And I'm so glad you're with us today.
Well, that's right. You're going to play it. So I don't. I guess I can stand up. Just do this. Don't really need to be right.
And we'll just say the prayer for protection together. Terry, let's not. do
Okay.
the
I meant
audio
for
on
people
that.
on the screen. Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
Okay, so here we go. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. And the presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you for being here. You're here virtually. Hold on a minute.
Stop the share.
Share screen. And,
It's been a while. How you doing? Fine. How about you? Let me stop this recording.